I have my claim, I have my reason. Now I have to go into my research that I conducted and figure out what is going to best support this reason that banned books benefit students. So I could talk about intellectual speech and freedom, making students more worldly, empathetic, and having social emotional growth. I have a few choices in here. Now notice that there's two parts to doing this, and those are in blue. First, there's the source integration. So that is the citing of my source, and then I have the evidence. So the source that I'm integrating is the stuff that I put at the top. The evidence is what I took notes on. So for example, I'm going to pull up some examples of doing a source integration for evidence. So for example, according to whatever source explains that, whatever source stated that, and then finally this source cites that. So those are just a few choices. You can kind of play around with the wording on those. So my first source integration is procon.org explains that. So I'm using something from procon.org. And so the evidence that I pulled, the research that I used, was the National Coalition Against Censorship explained that even books or materials that many find objectionable may have educational value. Now notice I put an ellipses here. That's what those three periods are. And that's because I didn't think the rest of this stuff was really all of that important because I'm only focusing on benefiting students, and I'm going to talk about eventually why educational value is a benefit for students. My next source integration, I actually used something that was cited twice. So the Alaprendini and Sprague, as well as the YouTube video posted by Rocket Boom. So I used according to Alaprendini and Sprague, as well as a video posted by Rocket Boom. The First Amendment protects the right of an individual's intellectual freedom and the freedom of speech. So that's stated here, and it's nice because I'm citing two sources. And then my third source integration, because I want to keep using different things. I don't want to keep it the same. So I have procon.org explains that. I have an according to. And then finally, for my last source integration, I have procon.org states that. So all three of my source integrations are different. The other thing I want to point out with my sources is even though I got two from procon.org, I did use information from my other two sources. So that's important too, to have a balance with that. And then the last piece of evidence that I cited was 46 of the Radcliffe Publishing Group's top 100 novels of the 20th century are frequently challenged. Banning them would deprive students of essential cultural and historical knowledge as well as differing points of view. Again, I feel like I can explain how that evidence will benefit students. So at this point now, using this example, you can pause the video, do your source integration and your evidence. Notice not all of my evidence was used. I just used the stuff that I thought was the best. So pick your three best pieces of evidence. Try to make sure you're incorporating most, if not all, of your sources. And then that's it for source integration and evidence. So pause the video and take care of that now.